One Piece fans are more desperate than ever for a new One Piece console game, including myself, with the most recent console game being released in January 13th, 2023. That's over 2.5 years ago now. That being One Piece Odyssey, which received mixed reviews and was a single player game. So it's no surprise that fans want a new game, especially multiplayer. And most One Piece fans assume that this is the year we get a new game announced, which is why it was quite a surprise when they announced a next gen, or I should say current gen upgrade for One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, which seems to refuse to not release new content. Because if you remember back in February, they not only announced a current gen upgrade, for PS5 for Pirate Warriors 4, but also did a fan survey for which characters we should see in the DLC next. And that was back in February. I don't even remember what characters I voted for. We still have almost no info since then, but I will cover what new info we got regarding One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 and, the next game. But before I get into all that, hit that like button and that subscribe button down below. It helps me immensely. I cover anime games like One Piece, My Hero, Demon Slayer, and all that good stuff. I'm a small YouTuber now, but hopefully one day I won't be, and you can help me with that for free. But with that said, I'm your boy Kaiser, and let's get straight into it. So first, let's talk about One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. And this news went quite under the radar, but they recently made an announcement about the DLC for Pirate Warriors 4, which us fans voted for. And I thought, hey, maybe they're finally revealing what characters have been, confirmed. Well, kind of. So, do you guys know what One Piece Day is? One Piece Day is on August 10th, and it's a day all about One Piece. So we can expect some reveals on that day. Well, it turns out that the results of the user surveys will be revealed, for the additional DLC characters on One Piece Day, August 10th, which is on a Sunday by the way. And they didn't even reveal a single character, although most people are assuming Vivi will be one of them. It does seem like there will be a full pack of characters. I don't know if they will release them one by one, or if there's any other additional content that we should know about. I'm sure it will all be revealed on August 10th. But what really surprised me is, in this update, they didn't mention anything about the PS5 upgrade, which is sad because not only do I want to know about when we'll get the PS5 upgrade, I want to know how it's going to work. Will we just be able to use our PS4 copy and upgrade it for free, or do we have to re-buy the whole thing? I'm really worried that they're going to make us re-buy the whole thing, but hopefully I'm wrong about that. I mean, Xenoverse, to be fair, did it for free. It didn't give us any DLC content, which is understandable. It simply let you upgrade to the PS5 version. So since this is Bandai and it's One Piece, which is almost as big as Dragon Ball, or at least it's the next best thing, hopefully that means it will be a free upgrade for both Xbox and PS5. And I wouldn't be surprised if they announced a Switch 2 version as well. I'm just surprised that this game is still getting content. I mean, it's been well over 5.5 years, but I guess with how Bandai treats their games, once it gets a PS5 upgrade, they treat it almost like a new release. I mean, Xenoverse is still getting content, and I guess if the games are still getting sales, then it gets content. It is surprising because Pirate Warriors 4 isn't really a multiplayer game. I mean, I'm pretty sure it has like co-op, but let's be honest, like most of it is all single player. But I guess it still gets sales, right? It must be if it's still getting DLC. And I mean, it's One Piece, especially since there aren't many, good One Piece games, or at least ones that really stick it with the fans. But that's why I think it's inevitable that a new One Piece game is going to get announced. I mean, like I said, it's been well over 2.5 years since the last One Piece game, which was also a single player game. That's why I not only think that the next One Piece game will be announced on August 10th, but I think it will be a multiplayer focused game. I don't know what kind of multiplayer game. I mean, yeah, most people would assume it will be a fighting game, but look at One Piece's track history for games. The last fighting game was One Piece Burning Blood, which was what, 2016, 2017? I'll put it on screen now. It's been ages, right? And that game had a lot of DLC too, so it must have had some success, right? So a new One Piece fighting game definitely isn't out of the question, especially being a shonen anime, and that being the typical shonen anime game, arena fighters. But maybe they'll spice it up, maybe they'll do something else, a 2D fighter, or personally what I want is a Shinobi Striker type game, but for One Piece. So that would be a team-based 3D online focused fighting game. And don't forget the fact that you can create your own character. And I mean, being One Piece, you could probably choose between like Haki and Devil Fruit powers, or like what type of Devil Fruit. The customization for a One Piece Shinobi Striker type game is insane, maybe even more than Naruto, as in the potential customization. And what we've learned from like recent anime games, or not even recent, just anime games in general, customization and like character creation goes a long way with the player bases. I mean, the fact that Xenoverse to, not even just Xenoverse, because Xenoverse is huge, right? Shinobi Strikers isn't anywhere near as big as Xenoverse, yet it still gets DLC and updates very actively. So that says something. And if you look at the content creation pool for Shinobi Strikers, where it shines is the customization and created characters. So I believe a One Piece game in that style would really shine. But the other thing that it could be, I guess, would be a digital card game. I don't think they have one of those yet. And, you know, I wouldn't say it's a safe option, but a lot of these animes do just get that. I mean, the Dragon Ball one came, but it didn't really stick it. I mean, it didn't put it on console or anything, but I mean, it had its run, right? I mean, it's probably still going to. And don't forget, One Piece does have a successful card game, which hasn't been around for too long, but I hear it does great in Japan. The artworks are amazing, and it's doing pretty good in the West too. So maybe that'll really help push it even further in the West and globally in general. That's my 2 ideas for what I think we'll probably see for a One Piece multiplayer game, which I think will happen next. But I want you guys to let me know what you think will happen. Do you think another One Piece game will be announced on August 10th on One Piece Day, or am I delusional? Or maybe it will get announced, but it won't be a multiplayer game. Let me know your thoughts down below. One thing for sure, it won't be another Pirate Warriors, because since that game's getting a new DLC pack, they're gonna want something that doesn't clash with that game, you know, a different genre. I'd even be surprised if it's another single player game, to be honest, but maybe that's just me. They could spice it up, you know. I mean, they did release Odyssey, to be fair. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know who you think the DLC characters will be, probably VB and some others. And do you like my idea of a Shinobi Striker type game? Let me know. But with that said, you've watched this far, so you clearly like my content. So why not hit that like button and that subscribe button for more anime game content. I know I'm a small YouTuber now, but hopefully one day I won't be, because I have no plans of quitting content creation. But you know, maybe you can be an OG on my channel, and one day if I'm a big YouTuber, you can say you were here early on, you know. But with that said, follow my Twitter in the description below. Check out my videos on screen now, I think you'll like them. I've been your boy Kaizen, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.